the mover of this motion for doing a very great job of public relations for the federal government. Because what he has done is to take it step by step and said everything is nice. Let me also thank my good friend Olamileko, whose senatorial district, like he has said here, is based on smuggling.
Did he say that? Mike.
And he's got a big problem. Because on the one hand, he says, well, that he knows for a fact that the consumption of petrol has reduced by 11 million liters. In other words, what he's telling us is that this closure should be permanent, so that we no longer will continue to spend money on 60 million liters. Let me also commend the governor of Ogun State, who also didn't help us.
Former governor of Ogun State.
Governors around, like Carlo and all that, we are very, very careful when we want to say something. Former governor, by also helping us to let us know the real problems of this motion. Because the question really, as a former minister of Interior, Abamoro, has posed on this floor, is also, where do we go from here? Should this be a solution? And as a former minister of Interior, he has given us very frightening statistics. 87 official borders and more than 1,000 unofficial. Now, I'm assuming that what was closed was the 87, because you're not going to close the unofficial ones, since you don't know them anyway, which means that we may be very far from where we want to go if we don't close all the 1,900. And so we will also ask the appropriate agencies to liaise with Abamoro so that we will see how we can make sure that everybody. Then, the obverse side of this, as opposed to what Senator Aliero has said, that the rice mills are working, we are getting from the reports in the newspapers every day that, on the contrary, prices have gone up. It may be a temporary state for our people to suffer temporarily. So I join Senator Debbie to ask that there should be a time frame that we must be given, because leaving it open in this manner does not give us. And I also join my colleagues who have also asked the question, what do we do with this time that we now have the borders closed? Incidentally, I have a relative who goes to school in Benin Republic, and he has told me he can't go because he can't even fly, because they said that the flights don't go to Benin or to Togo. The only flight you get is the ones that go to, I think, Ghana, to Accra. And then for him to now go there, to come back through that side, he can't come by road too. So there are difficulties, just like has also been pointed out here, for legitimate Nigerians who do their business, who run their own things, who have a difficulty with this. That is why we want to have a time frame, so that anybody who wants to do anything, we say, okay, Nigeria is using 1 month, 2 months to get our acts together. Finally, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, what is the job of the customs, the immigrations, and so forth? What it means and what we are getting as what has led to this is the failure of those people doing their job. Because your job as customs officials or whatever, immigration, is to be able to let legitimate trade go through and illegitimate trade not go through. And for us in Nigeria, we must also ask ourselves the question, when we're being told that every day 60 million liters is consumed in Nigeria and 30 million is smuggled daily, every tanker carries 330 liters. Sorry, 33,000 liters. Now, which means that if it's 1 million liters, you can get the number of trucks. Now, if it is 1 million liters times 30 times the number of trucks, what it tells us is that there are some things that are far more than just what we're looking at to say that people are just smuggling fuel. It means that it's an organized racket. My solution is simple. Why won't we take over the West African market and now know that we are taking over West Africa? I think the late Awolowo suggested it at one time. What are we doing with all this? Why don't we just use trade to take over all this? So we have a larger market, we have a larger of everything. But continuing to support West Africa through illegal means and then bearing the consequences without getting all these other countries to be part of our solution is one of those things that I think is being sought in this motion, where they say that we must have a bilateral, and I will also commend Senator Suswan for reminding us that we have signed agreements, both the ECOWAS agreement, the ACFTA that we have just signed, and other agreements about free trade. And so when we sign agreements and we turn around and close trade, what it means is that we're also telling the outside world that we don't have the will to keep to our word as a country. And we need to be able to always do that.
Senator Francis Fadausi.
Mr. President,